you are a single person or a couple and you pay rent, have a mortgage, pay car notes, and also pay for childcare, I don't understand how y'all are doing this in the year of 2025. Like, what? Like, if y'all's mortgage or rent is $1,300, then your childcare, I've heard, is between like $900 to like $1,400, and then car notes, I don't even know how much it would be. Like, that's not even including groceries, gas, electricity, Wi-Fi, insurance, phone bill. What? Like trash, water, yard, HOA. How are y'all doing this?
When you leave the house, does it automatically cost you $100, $200, $300, $400? Like, if you leave your house, it costs so much money these days. I went to Walmart, spent $359.26. I'm at the gas pumps now. Probably be another 40 or 50. So what's that, about 400? I should have just stayed home. It seems like if you leave the house these days, it costs. My daughter that's married and grown out the house, she had told my son, stay home long as you can. It costs to breathe.
I need somebody to tell me why my husband went to purchase a 7-pack of underwear. Probably hasn't purchased them in, like, I don't know, years. You know how it is. Tell me why that package of underwear was $42. I was flabbergasted.
I'm going to explain to you guys how much more expensive things are today than they were even 3 years ago based off of my current financial situation. So 4 years ago, when I graduated law school, I graduated making $65,000 a year. I was living in a 1-bedroom by myself, paying $1,400 a month. After the first 3 months, my boyfriend moved in, and so then we were splitting it, so it was $700 a piece. But he lost his job at one point, and so for 3 months before he got a new one, I was covering the rent all by myself. So it was about 6 months of me paying $1,400 a month for that year-long lease. Now I make about $85,000 a year. I have 2 roommates and we split the rent 3 ways. And usually my rent is like $950, something around that. So I'm making technically $20,000 more a year. I'm paying roughly the same of what I was paying in rent. And I have never been more stressed out about money in my entire life.
Most Americans are not making enough money to afford the basic costs of living. A new report found a, quote, minimal quality of life is out of reach for the bottom 60% of American households. Now, this analysis considers whether people can afford food and shelter, and it also looks at the affordability of technology tools for work and education, as well as health and childcare.
It's impossible. You know, I would never hurt or harm myself in any way, but sometimes I just wonder why. Why am I here? I mean, there's got to be a reason why, like, life is so hard for me. What if it's not meant for me? This shit drives a lot of people to anger, man, and I understand. I truly do. I am seriously starting to feel like it's just about impossible to live in the United States. You know, I don't want to seem like a lazy bum when I seen this, but I truly feel like it's just about impossible. If you weren't raised and given a good first hand in life, or a support team who will make sure no matter what that you don't fail, or, you know, having people that you're able to fall back on, you're blessed. I'm a 23-year-old dad. I've got 2 kids. I've got about to be a 5-year-old in May, and I've got a newborn too. She's just a few weeks old, like 3 weeks. So my wife gets to stay at home and take care of the babies, and I'm out here trying to get it. I'm on my 3rd shift job now. I'm a security officer for Allied Universal. No, I don't represent the company in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I work here from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. every single day, 8-hour shift. I get off of this 3rd shift job and I go directly into another job, which I just go around my city, finding side jobs. It might be a clean out one day and I go out there for another 5, 6, 7 hours. It might be landscaping another day. It might be painting one day. It varies. I do what I can where I can. But therein, I go home and I have to stay up even longer to make sure that my lady is able to get her rest too, because, I mean, being a mom's a hard job. Yes, I'm working hard, but being a mom is a hard mental job as well in its own. So I have to stay up for a little bit in order to give her time to actually rest and get her sleep too, because she needs it.
So a couple things here, right? I don't want to child shame anybody. That's a thing that I've seen happening now. People saying, well, if you can't afford to have kids, you shouldn't have them. Here's the thing. People need to have kids. People want to have kids. Kids are expensive. They've always been expensive. People have raised kids with a lot less. People have raised kids and they were poor. I'm not saying that's the best way to raise kids, but first thing here is that he has, a couple kids and they're not cheap.
It's very expensive to raise a child in the U.S.
I knew it was going to be expensive. I didn't know it was going to be that expensive.
The free market works well in many different sectors, but childcare is not one of them.
Sending an infant to daycare in many places across the country is actually more expensive than in-state public tuition to send them to college.
When we looked it up, it turned out our daughter's daycare was more than Stanford's tuition. We didn't really start to dig into it until we had a baby and I was on maternity leave, and then the numbers really started to hit home, and it was like, how are we going to do this?
Many Americans are struggling to make ends meet. More than 12.5 million children in the U.S. live in poverty. Even middle-class families are increasingly struggling to pay for everyday expenses.
So that's why he's out here having to work all these different jobs. The second thing is he seems like he's working a bunch of lower paying jobs. I mean, he's working as a security guard. Shout out to him for that. But then he goes and he said he finds odd jobs to do. And I get it. He's grinding. He's out here hustling, like he said, to make sure he can pay for his family. But it sounds like he may need to find a way to increase his income. And I know you might look at me and go, well, Jay, that's easier said than done. I get it. It's not like I'm not trying to say that that's rocket science what I said, or I said something super profound, but that's what I be thinking. In my free time, when she doesn't have very much of it, I may need to drop one job and struggle just a little bit more so I can get my skills up to get paid more money.
Having people to fall back on, let's say you're going down the road and like my case, my heater core blows up. I don't have no one I can call to say, hey, can I borrow $400 so I can get my heater core replaced? Or, you got $400 so I can get new tires on my vehicle. That is just something you have to figure out on your own. And as somebody with terrible credit, you can't just go get a loan for these things. The only loan you could get is a title loan. And in a lot of states, title loans are illegal for a reason. I'm stuck in this title loan, having to pay them back $4,300, but I have to pay $700 a month just to drive. That doesn't go toward my principal, on top of having to pay my rent and all the other bills just to survive. It's impossible. I would never hurt or harm myself in any way, but sometimes I just wonder why. Why am I here? I mean, there's got to be a reason why, life is so hard for me. What if it's not meant for me? This shit drives a lot of people to anger, man, and I understand. I truly do.
I'm happy he said he doesn't have any thoughts of doing things to himself, because the way he sounds right now is very, very concerning. He makes a good point about how he doesn't have anyone to lean on, and that's the big thing about the American culture. And again, I was born and raised in the U.S. I love the U.S. I love America. But as a first-generation American and having foreign parents or foreign-raised parents, I see the difference between how in the U.S. is very individualistic versus in other countries. It's more, and that's Latin countries, Asian countries, African countries, even in European countries as well. It's a more of a communal vibe, and that people have kids, but then the kids are raised by the community, and you have extended families in one household. Versus the U.S. is everyone's doing it all themselves, all by themselves. So then when you have a situation where you might need someone to look out for you, maybe watch your kid for a little while, you don't have that same benefit as you would in another country. And again, there's pros and cons to everything, of course. And he's saying from a financial perspective, he has no one that he can reach out to lend him money. Again, maybe he has no family close by or any family that have the means or friends that have the means to loan him that money. And as he just mentioned, and goes back to my first point that I said, whenever you don't make enough money, if you work these lower paying jobs, you're living on the edge. You're living on that line. All it takes is one major thing to happen, or one minor thing, like your car starter goes out and it's $800. You don't have $800 to pay for that. And then you get yourself in a position where you maybe take out these predatory loans, and these interest rates are astronomical. And now you're just in a cycle to where you just don't even, you're drowning. You don't know how to get out of it.
People say maybe these next 4 years. No, this is literally impossible. There is nothing no president is able to do to save people from what we are having to go through. Housing at an all-time high. You could go to another country and you can have the same homes here for a tenth of the price that we're paying per month. Food the same exact way. And I just feel like it's impossible. If I was a drug addict, if I was a piece of dad, I could have so much more help. But with me out here trying to do everything the right way, and nothing's working, nothing's helping. Life absolutely sucks right now. It truly, truly sucks. And there's no way to get out of it than to continue to dig myself into working and trying to come up out of this hole that seems impossible to come out of. Sorry for the rant. I'm not usually the ranting type. I'm just tired. I'm sick and tired having to live the way that we have to live just to survive, because it's nonsense. It truly is. I mean, I try my absolute hardest and I'm not getting any.
Hey, I feel for the guy. I really do. And he makes another good point about how sometimes the system is not in your favor. So he's out doing what we would expect someone in his position to do. Go out as a new father, work hard to support his family, work 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs, get very little sleep, go home, watch the kids while his wife recovers and rests. And you're like, that's commendable. The problem is, because he's doing that, he makes just enough not to get government assistance. So now you have people who abuse the system and get all these government programs and all these assistance. And, a lot of them, like you said, they might be drug addicts. A lot of them, like you said, they might just be lazy individuals, but they're getting the benefit of taxpayer dollars. Not to mention taxpayer dollars from people like him. So he's going out and breaking his back to make money to support his family, and meanwhile, part of his income is going to support people that are lazy. That's what he's saying. And some people aren't lazy. Some people genuinely have, disabilities or reasons why they need that assistance. That's why it's there. I'm not talking about those people at all. I'm talking about the ones that abuse the system. And so he's stuck in the middle towards the lower end. You have the people that make bukus amounts of money, and a lot of those folks, they have a lot of ways to circumvent taxes legally. So they're okay. Then you have people at the very bottom that are the poor, and they're taking, getting these government assistance programs. And then you have people in the middle like you and I and this guy who we're just working hard to make money and we're paying our taxes like law-abiding citizens do. And it's tough. So again, I feel for the guy. I really do.
I wish I can catch that big break. I wish I could get back to a life of, damn, we paid our rent, power, water, Wi-Fi, and insurance. That's our bills for the month, and we can afford that. Talking about saving money and being able to invest in land and a whole bunch of other stuff, it seems impossible. So, if you have that support team and you have a whole group of people that are there for you to make sure that you don't fall, be thankful for them, because there's a lot of us up here that one slip, one up, one missed day out of work will cause us to lose our home, our vehicle, and to end up being on the streets. DSS is no help. CPS is no help. They won't help you until you're actually living on the streets. And once you are, they take your kids because you're an unfit parent. There's no help. You can't call these resource centers and everything like that. You can't depend on food banks for food because a lot of these food banks give you rotten meats and shit. This is hard. Y'all let me know if y'all go through the same things.
So it sounds like he's spiraling, but he might just be venting because he's just like fed up with it. And can you blame him? Like I mentioned before, like he said, one slip and he's done. And added pressure having kids. Now, I'll be honest, like I said in the beginning, I don't child shame, if that's the term. But I will say that if you're in a position like he's in, personally speaking, just speaking for myself right now, I'm not going to have any kids yet. I'm going to wait until I'm more stable, until I'm more secure, until I'm around family or friends who can help out, until I have my career set, or even if it's not a career, a job that's more stable. I don't have to work 3 or 4 jobs to make ends meet. I'm gonna go to a location that might not be as expensive. I'm gonna try to control the things I can control externally before I start having kids. And maybe they didn't plan to have them and they just kind of came about. But I mean, we all know how kids come here. They don't get dropped off by a stork or whatever the story was. I'm not blaming him. I'm not saying anything bad about him. I actually think he's a respectable guy. He's just venting. He's just fed up and frustrated like anybody in his position would be.
Okay, if you are a single person or a couple and you pay rent, have a mortgage, pay car notes, and also pay for childcare, can y'all please stitch this video or comment below and tell me how y'all are doing in the year of 2025? Because I don't understand how y'all are doing this in the year of 2025. Like, what? Like, if y'all's mortgage or rent is $1,300, then your childcare, I've heard, is between like $900 to like $1,400. So mortgage $1,300, childcare probably like $1,200, and then car notes, I don't even know how much it would be like. And then like that's not even including groceries, gas, electricity, Wi-Fi, insurance, phone bill. What? Like trash. What else people have? Water, yard, HOA. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't even know.
Okay, so I'm not gonna give a stitch, but I'll give a review of it or reaction to it. And how are people doing it? A lot of people are living home with their parents. That's how they're doing it. I'm one of them, and I make decent income. I have assets. I have savings, and I'm still here. Partly by choice, because I looked at the price of this mortgage I was about to get. I looked at the price of rent, and I'm like, I'd rather help my parents out. But people are living at home. People are living with 1, 2, 3 roommates. People are going into crazy amounts of debt, and that's a whole nother topic on its own. Yeah, people are doing what they need to do to survive, and a lot of people are just doing that. They're surviving, or they're trying, or they're drowning. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people are drowning to get by. So they're not actually getting by. They're just kind of, it's like a personal Ponzi scheme. It's like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you're Peter and Paul. So how are people doing it? That's how they're doing it. Some people too had the benefit of buying into things before prices shot up. For example, your home. She said a mortgage of $1,300. I don't know where in the world she's seen a mortgage of $1,300. Maybe she's in the Midwest somewhere, or maybe she bought before 2020. I don't know. Or maybe she bought back in like 2016, 17, 18, but $1,300 a month for a mortgage, I wish. But that's my answer to that. How are people doing it? That's how. Let me know in the comment section how you think people are doing it. Do you think people are doing it the way I'm saying, or is there other ways that I missed that people are somehow dealing with all these crazy costs of living these days?
Hey everyone, I have a question. I want to know y'all's opinion. When you leave the house, does it automatically cost you $100, $200, $300, $400 Like if you leave your house, it costs so much money these days. Makes no sense. I went to Walmart, spent $359.26. I'm at the gas pumps now. Probably be another 40 or 50. So what's that, about 400? Then a lady called me. I've been looking for a storage, like a bench to go in front of my bed. And she said they got one in today if I wanted it. Went by there and spent another 100. So I should have just stayed home. It seems like if you leave the house these days, it costs. Like everything is $100, $200, $300. Do y'all feel the same way?
Yep.
Like the other day, my son's fixing to graduate. My daughter that's married and grown out the house, she had told my son, stay home long as you can. It costs to breathe. I believe it. Look.
All right, so some of that's her own doing. She wanted to get a bench. Obviously, no one has to buy a bench. That's because she just wanted it. But listen, what she's saying is spot on. Whenever I leave the house, I already know I'm going to spend at least $20 that day. Whether it's gas, whether it's running to the grocery store to buy something I need to eat. Who knows what it is? I just feel like if I step outside, I'm going to pay. Some days I don't leave the house because I'm like, if I leave this house, I'm going to spend, and again, some of that's me, obviously. I don't have to go buy food each time. You know what I mean? So part of it is me, but things, it's like, you can't avoid expenses. I'll say this, I challenge anyone watching this video to go 1 week and not spend one dime. 1 week, don't spend one dime on food, on gas, on anything. See if you can go a week without doing it. I don't know if you can do it. I don't know if I can do it. And I mean, you might pay your mortgage once per month. You might pay gas. I don't know if let's say you work from home. You might fill up on your gas twice per month. Let's say that you buy your groceries up front. Okay, most of the stuff is taken care of. Can you go the rest of the week without paying one thing? I don't know. It seems almost impossible. And I know we live in that kind of society too. Like there's a holiday every other day. And the reason there are so many holidays in the US is because obviously it stimulates the economy. People spend money. I get that. That's just how the system in the US is set up. And again, I'm not knocking the US. I love the US. I'm proud. I'm a proud American citizen. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not bashing the US. I just think that it's at a place where it's like something has to give almost, it seems, because it's just unsustainable. So with that being said, guys, if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you. And I really do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you made it this far, it means you really rock with me. So I'd appreciate it if you gave the video a like and subscribe if you feel so too inclined. No pressure, because the YouTube algorithm would greatly appreciate it. And I would appreciate it. And with that being said, until next time, make smart financial decisions.